I'm Dave Greenwood, and this is Overcoming Distractions. If you are an adult with ADHD, a busy professional, an entrepreneur, a high achiever, or just need some strategies to navigate your adult ADHD, you're in the right place. Who am I? I'm an entrepreneur with ADHD and the author of 2 books, Overcoming Distractions and Overcoming Burnout. I coach and mentor people just like you, and together we navigate the ups and downs of adult ADHD. From getting out of our own way to helping people just like you thrive in the workplace. That's what I do. Want more info on working with me? Hit overcomingdistractions.com. Ready? Let's get to today's podcast. Hey everybody, what is up? It's Dave, and you are back on the only place for the busy professional adult with ADHD. It's Overcoming Distractions. And, I got to thinking, I wanted to go through a day in the life of us. So this is a day in the life of us busy adults with ADHD. And I wanted to just kind of do like an overview of some of the things we struggle with. And I'm doing this because I want you to understand that you are far from being alone when it comes to having these types of challenges in your personal or professional life. These are the issues we need to work on pretty much daily in our lives so we can keep up, lose the stress, have some fulfillment in life, enjoy our job, our career, have some impact. And it's interesting, when I begin working with somebody individually, because they need a little help coming up with some solutions to some of these challenges. Of course, everybody's different and everybody's situation is different. You may have kids, maybe you don't have kids. Maybe you're a solopreneur. Maybe you're working in the C-suite and you've got several people under you. But here's what I know. Some of the same things do continue to pop up over and over again when we are adults with ADHD and we're living a busy life. So I want to make it clear, I'm not going to be negative. I'm not trying to be negative with this and the next several minutes. I just want you to know that you're not alone. And I will add that pretty much everything that I'm about to discuss briefly in the day of our life has also more lengthy episodes, either in the past or more to come, because I think some of these things we do need to continue to discuss. So I know that some of the things I'm going to talk about briefly, because again, I just want to go over that day in the life. You're going to go, yep, oh yeah, yep, you must be living with me. You must be coming to work with me. I get it. So you're not alone. And that's my goal with this today. So let's take a ride down the day in the life of us busy professionals with ADHD. Let's first just talk about some of those daily challenges that we struggle with sometimes. And of course, the big one is that attention and focus. Struggling to maintain our focus on tasks, especially when they're mundane, maybe they're uninteresting, or maybe we don't have enough clarity, right? This, I'm sure it's no surprise to you, is pretty much what kind of leads to procrastination and difficulty completing, those projects or tasks on time. And it also leads, I believe, to mistakes and overall stress. Quite frankly, if for some reason that I stated that we don't actually like or are not motivated to do something, this is where we're going to struggle to kind of focus on that. I believe that some of the strategies of many, some of the basics, Some people are great at breaking tasks down into smaller, more kind of manageable pieces using timers. And yes, don't at me for telling you to use a timer, okay? Because it does work. And then trying to create that kind of distraction-free environment. I mean, typically we find this at work, but maybe it's something at home, like paying your bills. I think also of super importance is blocking out time. We've talked about this before. We will talk about it again. And then finding long stretches of time to actually kind of get into flow and get in the zone, because I know for many of us it does take, a little bit of time to actually just kind of get into the zone and get into flow and get our brain in that kind of whatever mode it is, whether it's at home paying bills or it's work doing that report for your boss or whatever it is. All right. And by the way, I mentioned timers. I have saved an untold amount of burnt food using a timer. So go ahead and laugh. Okay. Go ahead and say, oh, he just told me to use a timer. But it does work. And I have saved a ton of burnt food and everything else. So routines, especially in the morning. I'll tell you flat out that if your day starts out a train wreck, it's going to end that way. I'm almost certain of that. I know it personally. And that's why I'm a massive fan of getting the house ready the night before. And if you have kids, this should be mission critical. These are the things that we struggle with, I think. And if you're out there listening and you told me you never had a morning that went completely out of control, then I'm not sure I completely believe you. Okay. So, getting your day off on the right start, I think is super critical. And that helps us with, overcoming those challenges. And it's a way to actually cope. So, the other thing, organization and planning, keeping track of all our appointments, our deadlines, our responsibilities. I think that's challenging for many people. I think through trial and error, we need to find the right type of planner or the digital tool or the app that works for us. I know a lot of you are paper and pen. A lot of you like digital tools. But it's that trial and error to kind of figure out what's going to keep you organized, what's going to help you plan, and help you keep things in your face and remind you. So, one example, I know many of you have a work and a personal email, and sometimes you're missing things. And I know some people don't like to put the appointments they have with me on their work calendar. So it's important to kind of, if you say you've got an appointment you don't want on your work calendar, to find some way to set that up in some personal timer on your phone or what have you. So, that's just one of many, many examples. But I do know that in talking to many of you that, getting organized and planning is something we consistently need to work on, right? A day in the life of us busy adults, right? Time and energy management. We used to call this time management, but I really call it time and energy management now, because if you're going to manage your time effectively, you've got to manage your energy. So, but some of the things I know that we are challenged with, we lose track of time. We underestimate how long some things will take. But I really, again, I'm going to say it again, time blocking. And if you do it effectively, then I think it is very helpful in getting things done. We can set time limits for tasks, so we can say, I'm going to do this whatever by 12 p.m. or 2 p.m. or I'm going to give myself 1 hour or whatever the thing is. And then I think we need to get better at prioritizing those kind of high impact things. Those things that are deadline driven. Another thing in the day in the life is we sit down and we have 20 things on a to-do list and we think we need to do them all, right? I'm sure that is very familiar to you. So I believe getting rid of the day before is a simple, but I think powerful exercise in our kind of tool belt, so to speak. And of course, setting and keeping those boundaries is going to help you get your work done and manage your time much better. So we struggle with time management. We struggle with the energy around it, and we need to follow the energy and those kind of simple, quick little things. Again, there are more episodes. This is your day in the life of being a busy adult with ADHD. Let's dig in a little more into kind of our professional life. And I know a lot of us struggle with the productivity and the fluctuations around it. And I know productivity can be inconsistent for many of us. Maybe we have those periods of hyper-focus, and then all of a sudden it's followed by those times of distraction, or we're just not into it. Or again, it's that low energy. And I think finding that balance and developing those systems to harness those periods where we can be productive is absolutely super critical, especially in the workplace. Finding the best time and the best way that we work is super important. And you know, finding a way to maybe get back in the game, like maybe it's a boost of energy after lunch and we kind of lose that flow and we need to kind of get back at it. So those work relationships, I think, are a challenge for those adults with ADHD, many of us. And I think communication, teamwork, that can be affected. You know, maybe it's difficulty listening or retaining information when it's meetings or different things. And I think that's one of the things that we're challenged with is communicating. And it's up to us, I think, to be more in control of that and almost over-communicate to kind of save ourselves. So super important to take those notes, maybe ask permission to record a meeting, those regular check-ins, seeking feedback. All those can kind of help mitigate those misunderstandings or that lack of clarity that get in the way of us actually getting our work done. And I know it may be tough for us, but we do need to learn slowly how to over-communicate so we get what we need from other people. That's going to help kind of harness those work relationships. Many people I've talked to over the years have told me that their reputation has been damaged in the workplace because maybe they dropped the ball one too many times. Maybe they're on a performance improvement plan. And managing our ADHD and those systems and communicating, I think, can help repair that reputation. I've talked to so many people who said, I want to repair my reputation with my boss and my supervisor. So I think managing our career, you know, when it comes to obviously the workplace, it's, you know, juggling those multiple responsibilities, maintaining that performance under pressure. It can be daunting for some of us. We can be working in a chaotic work environment. Not all this is our fault. Just because this is the day in the life of ADHD doesn't mean that everything is your fault. And we've talked about that. That's why it's important for us to not only seek roles that align with our strengths and our interest, but also if we get to a point where we find that we can't thrive or we can't be our best selves, then that's something that we need to work through. Is this isn't working for me? Maybe I love my job, but this place isn't working for me anymore. And those are some big steps. So we need to find the right job and the right organization or company or business that's going to help us thrive as an adult with ADHD. All right. Then we get home, right? We get back home. Parenting. I mean, managing a household, parenting, it can be overwhelming for many of us, especially with that added layer of ADHD. Some of us, as we get older, we end up being caregivers, which adds another element, such as maybe starting to take care of our parents, or our kids are getting older and we need to navigate their challenges through school and what have you. So I think it's important for us to do what we can to create that sense of stability and be in control to the best of our ability within our homes, and our families, and the ongoing things that are going to come up. So I will tell you flat out that this in 2024, going into 2025, you can look at the data. I don't have it, but the number of people approaching elderly age is the most it's ever been. So many of us are going to be caregivers, as well as having to manage our ADHD in a career. So that is going to be a day in the life of adults with ADHD. Okay, we got our relationships at home too, and I think ADHD can impact those personal relationships because we forget, we're distracted. Maybe there's some emotional regulation issues that flare up, tempers or arguments. That open communication and that understanding needs to be a foundation of your home life, okay? Not every day is perfect, but we need to try our best. I will tell you that if you're in a situation where there are some challenges, many people have found the programs run by Melissa Orlov very beneficial, about marriage and ADHD, and you can find those online. You can just Google her, Melissa Orlov. And then the household management, right? So staying on top of the chores, the bills, the lawn, the household responsibilities, the laundry, that all can be challenging, okay? Keeping up with the dishes that just never seem to end and never will end. So, and I think sharing those duties, those checklists, those type of schedules, because, we love doing dishes and mopping the floor, right? Okay, but it is what it is. Your house is going to turn into a shithole, right, eventually? So it has to get done. Go back and listen to my episode about the Skylight Calendar, because this is a tool that we've used in the house as well to help manage different things like chores and grocery lists and other commitments. So, our social life, socializing can be both rewarding and draining for many of us, but we need to get out sometimes, but maybe we're too tired. Sometimes it's okay to say no. But I do know when you get out with friends, have a good laugh, go have dinner, go see a show, grab a beer, okay? I'd call that good dopamine, and that is super essential. But just know that if you're just flat out cooked from the week, it's okay to say no, okay? But these are the things, again, a day in the week in the life of the busy adult with ADHD that we need to manage. We need to manage those social interactions, and we need that blend. So I also think many people I've talked to find it beneficial to go out and volunteer maybe a little bit if it's not just overwhelming to you. And I think they can find maybe separation from a demanding career, or maybe you're working in a chaotic company, and you just need a break and you need to get your head out of that situation. Sometimes volunteering can really help us kind of separate those. But let's not do it at the expense of our physical and mental health. But if you do find enjoyment from it, many people say, yeah, it was great for me to get out and volunteer for a couple hours, our self-care and our mental health, again, it's something we need to juggle daily. As an adult with ADHD, we need to juggle the responsibilities, but that can lead to high stress. It can lead to burnout. I can't tell you how many people that I have talked to that are adults with ADHD are approaching or actually in burnout because of a combination of the wrong job, the chaotic work environment, a boss that's a knucklehead that can't lead, and then our own personal work habits. And those are the things we need to juggle every single day and every single week. I also think because of that those of us with ADHD, we can experience burnout harder and faster than our kind of neurotypical friends. And again, it just comes down to kind of the way we work sometimes. But we need to make sure that we prioritize that, the regular exercise, getting enough sleep, hitting Spotify for 5 minutes and just chilling your brain out, okay? Taking a walk, finding a hobby. Okay, so, you know, might think it's crazy. Some people find mowing the lawn is you know, mindfulness a little bit, you know, because you just get around and walk and you separate yourself and the weather is good and what have you, okay? So, but we need to be conscious of not entering that phase, or when we think we may be entering that phase of chronic stress and burnout. And a lot of us don't realize it until it's too late. So because of that, we need to seek that support, whether it's coaching, mentoring, whether you need to see a therapist, choosing the right support group. Those are valuable strategies. Just make sure it's a good fit. And again, don't wait until it's too late. So, all right. Let's end on a high note, because also in the life of a busy adult with ADHD are our strengths, our resilience, our creative power, right? So let's wrap up on a high note, right? We are creative. We're problem solvers. We're able to think outside the box, quote unquote. I hate that term, but I can't think of anything else at the moment, right? We come up with innovative solutions. We see things others don't, right? You see things in the workplace that could be fixed or changed or could be improved, right? You see that as an adult with ADHD. You have passion and energy, right? When you're engaged in things that interest you, it's incredibly passionate. You're driven. And you can excel in your area of interest or career or what have you if you are surrounded by the right circumstances and environment, and you pay attention to your challenges and frustrations and address them appropriately. I think we're adaptable. We're resilient. We can navigate the challenges of ADHD. We can be adaptable. We can change the way over time. Maybe it's small little steps. We can persevere. We can be determined. Okay, we can be there. We are there. We're also loyal employees. We're loyal to our workplace. We're loyal to our clients as long as that relationship is beneficial, right? If we're in the right environment, we're the most loyal people you'll ever find. And you know that, right? You know that. I just believe that if we can get past the ugly sometimes, right, we can live a super fulfilling life. We can have passion about what we do. We can have minimal stress. We can contribute in a meaningful way. But we just need to do the work sometimes. Maybe we need to work a little differently than quote unquote normal folks, right? Okay, so there, I said it. That's what we need to do. But when we manage our ADHD properly, we address it. Maybe we get help. Okay, we get the assistance. We find the right job. We marry the right person, as Neda Hallowell says. Then we can have a super fulfilling life and thrive. So that is a day in the life of us busy adults with ADHD. Don't wait till it's too late to get a little support wherever it is. If that's me and you want to chat, again, hit overcomingdistractions.com. Click that button right on the homepage. Book a quick 15-minute Zoom chat with me. See if we're a good fit. And I would be honored to work with you one-on-one to navigate some of these issues so you actually can thrive and be less stressed out. All right, cool. I'll catch you next time.